What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another video, and today it's finally time yet again to do the top 15 figures of the year. You know, everybody's got their top 10 lists coming out. I like to do 15, makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to do Zach Toys' top 15 action figures of 2024. Yeah, I'm very excited for this list. It did take a little bit of piecing together, and usually it's because there's so much good stuff. And while it was a really strong year for action figures, it kind of was like, it took me a little bit to find like really what I wanted to put on here. That's a really good thing about having a YouTube channel. I say this every year. You can go through and like see what, what you posted, so you don't have to like think about it. And then, you go and write a list down. And then for me, it's going through all the tubs of trying to find this stuff. Luckily, it only took me like 10 minutes to find everything. Really wasn't too bad. But then I mess up all my bins and whatnot. But you guys don't care about that stuff. So I always do like to start off with the 5 worst figures of the year. Now, I don't get these figures out because it's like I don't want to look at them, or I don't even have them anymore, or whatever it is. But I do want to go over the 5 worst too, because I think that's fun. So without further ado, let's jump into the stinkers of the year. The absolute poop shooters. They shit the bed so hard. Terrible. Let's see. I don't really have a specific order for these, but we'll start at the best of the best of the worst, and then my least favorite figure of the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and say number 5, the Super 7 Ultimate Squidward. And this hurts me to put on here because I love SpongeBob. Squidward is my favorite character in SpongeBob, other than like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But the accessories suck. He's loose as shit. His head's heavy as fuck. So he falls all the time. The color is wrong. And they didn't get the dots and lines on his head. The design could barely be any more simple. And they messed it up. That figure pissed me off when I reviewed it. It's in my intro, and that's solely because of the character, because I love Squiddy. But man, dude, they do not have it. It's terrible. Terrible. Makes me sad. Number 4. I'm going to go with the Bullet Head Studios V figure. Now, this was kind of weird to put on here, and I'm going to put him above Squidward, that he's worse because he's like twice the price of Squidward. This figure pissed me off. I hate figures with real hair. Terrible. In mine, the head does not stay on the body. It just doesn't. It does not stay on the body at all. I've heated it up, boiled it, it just will not stay on the body, and I hate stuff like that. When you get an action figure, the whole point of an action figure is to play with it, to move it around. And if you can't do that, what's the point of having it? So, and it was $100, and the hair gets messed up. And I really like V's for Vendetta, so I'm hoping that one day, like a domestic company just does like a $20 figure, and I'll fucking sell that V figure immediately. Yeah, so that figure pissed me off. Then I'm going to go with and this is hard to put on here because I don't think it's fair, but also like, fuck off. The A24 wrestling figure of Kevin Von Erich. I was really excited for this, and I had my buddy pick it up for me because he was, he's a member, so I got like a little bit off for it. But this thing was $50, okay? I mean, like, I just paid him $50. And I love A24. The Iron Claw is one of my favorite movies of the year. It's one of my favorite movies, period. It is a fantastic movie, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't like wrestling. But again, I love Kevin Von Erich in this whole story, in that movie. The Iron Claw is great, but this figure is dog shit. And I get they were going for a vintage flair and this, that, or the other, but you advertised it as an articulated figure, and you put all the new articulation in there, but it sucks. Like, if you're gonna do that, then make it work, right? Like, it's weird. They did some things that are really good, like pinless joints, but then they did like a straight cut for the bicep swivel. Why? If you know you have to put a bicep swivel in there and you're gonna do it, then do it right. I wound up customizing the shit out of this, which I am very proud of that, or not proud, but I'm happy with that custom. But I just wish I didn't have to do that, especially for that high price point. And then the final two, we're gonna end with two McFarlane Toys figures that pissed me off. The first, the better of the two, is the collector edition Ragman. What about this is $30? Can somebody please tell me what about this is $30? And I don't want to hear the whole bendy cape thing. Most of their figures, almost all of their figures actually these days come out with cloth wired capes for $22.99. With more accessories and a better sculpt and better paint. The whole point of Ragman is that he's these patches of rags. And you only painted patches of rags, not like actual sculpted. This could have been such a really good figure, and it seems like something McFarlane would have been excelling at, but they didn't do it. They did a lazy repaint. Terrible, terrible figure. Not worth the $30 price point at all. I'm actually kind of mad that I bought it. And finally, the figure that pissed me off the most. The DC Multiverse Steel. How could you fuck up such a dope character so bad? The articulation sucks. The paint is ugly. The hammer is terrible. It's all wobbly. He doesn't stand. He doesn't come with a cloth cape. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible figure. Yeah. That one was kind of easy to put at my number one. Didn't like it when I reviewed it. Still don't like it now. And I'm holding out for the day that we get like a new version of Classic Steel. Especially seeing that Mafex one pisses me off that we didn't get something like that. So yeah, there's the 5 worst. Enough negativity. Let's go ahead and jump into number 15. Starting off our list at number 15, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Mattel Masterverse Snout Spout. This thing is awesome. Now, I love the paint. I love the sculpt. I love the detail on this. He came with a bunch of good stuff. Definitely worth the higher price point for this guy. The Masterverse, I think this was my last Masterverse review that I've done. It seems like it's dying off, which is unfortunate because, I will take literally any character they want to make, and there's tons of characters they could still do. It doesn't seem like the line's fallen canceled yet, but it's figures like this that make me hope that we keep getting more. Now, I know there's a couple more coming out that I'm going to be interested in, including Panther. That I'm very, very excited for. But, yeah, this is a really awesome figure. Really awesome detail. Very, very fun. At number 14, we're going to have the... actually, I don't remember who made it. Voltron figure. This thing is ridiculous. Is it Playmates? I think it's Playmates. The Playmates Toys Voltron. Now, technically you could say this is 5 individual figures, but I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody who's going to actually display it in all 5 of the line modes. This thing is awesome. And I'm not even a Voltron fan. Like, I like Voltron. It's cool. I've seen a couple episodes here and there. But this thing is just an engineering marvel. This thing is great. I love the paint and detail on them. For $100 total or like $110 total or something, I think it's totally worth it to pick this guy up. And I like pretty much everything about it. The articulation is so much better than it needs to be. It's a really, really fun figure. The only reason it's so low on the list is because I know that this is like a re-release. So I kind of want to be a little bit fair, but, I don't care that much. It is awesome. I knew that this was going to be in my top 10 the minute I reviewed it. At number 13, we have the Jazzwares Total Anime Lines, Eren Yeager. Eren looks amazing. I actually can't believe that this came from Jazzwares. I hope that we get more. I would love to see Armin and Mikasa. I would love to see the whole squad done in this because I'll be using Rebel Tech for the Titan versions of these characters. But I would also like to get the normal versions, like the humanoid characters versions of the characters too, because this is my favorite anime. So when they revealed this, I was like, oh my god. And for the price point, at the high, $20. But recently it's been on Amazon for $14.99, and people have been finding it, including myself, which I never find anything here, at Ross for $14.99. And that price is just insane for this thing. The sculpt is beautiful. The articulation is awesome. It comes with a ton of accessories. Look at how much detail there is in the ODM gear. It is It is great. I was not expecting that Jazzwares would make the list with a new line, but holy crap, this thing is great. Really, really love this figure. At number 12, I have the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector Editions Tomare. Oh man, this thing is ridiculous. Now, the reason it's so low on the list is because it is just a reused body, but I absolutely love this body for the Green Lanterns. I know some people don't. They're like, it looks like a sweater. I don't care. I'd rather it be textured and still be classic at the same time. I think it's like a classic look with a modern flair. I love that. The sculpt is great. The accessories he comes with are totally worth the $30 price point. They got rid of the stupid stand and put actual Green Lantern accessories in the package. That is what we want from a collector line. But what really and the articulation is fun too. He's fun to pose around. But what really set me over the edge for this guy was that amazing head sculpt. All of them are really good, actually. Even the platinum one, which I still have not found. I really want that. But this Tomare head sculpt is arguably the best 7-inch head sculpt McFarlane has ever done, if not any company has ever done. The detail on this head sculpt, I gush over it every single time. It is an amazing head sculpt, awesome ass figure. Really, really like this. I guess my biggest problem with it is I still don't have the platinum. I hate platinums. Get rid of platinums. But other than that, this figure's awesome. Really, really love Tomare. At number 11, you know a Jada Toys figure had to make it. So we got the Jada Toys Street Fighters Dalsim. Man, this thing is awesome. It's a lot of fun to pose around, a lot of fun to play with. It's the bendy arms and legs are great. And for the price point of $25, this is the best line on the market right now. I don't care what anybody says. They do not miss. Whether it's their Megaminds, their Street Fighters, anything, their cereal monsters, mascots, for their price point, no one is beating them. Jada is killing it. The only reason this is so low on the list is because I'm not the biggest Street Fighter fan. Like, yes, I definitely played in my day, but, you know, it's not a property that is near and dear to my heart. But this is amazing regardless, and it's so much fun to play around with. And Dalsim is one of my favorite characters. I'm really excited to get E Honda and Blanca and Balrog. Those tend to be my favorite characters, but I have Wave 3 on the way. Should be here tomorrow. And who knows, maybe they'll make the list for next year. But damn, Dalsim is awesome. This is a lot of fun. Breaching the number 10 spot, we have Doc Ock. Now, I knew he was going to fall, but the stand isn't really wide enough for him. But holy crap, I love this figure. It's perfect. It is the Doc Ock that I have wanted my whole life. Ever since I was a kid, you're like, oh my god, I want one with nice big bendy arms and blah, blah, blah. And Hasbro delivered. It is easily the best MCU figure that they have done almost ever. I think last year I put Green Goblin in their top 10, and I said probably all the same stuff. He just missed the cut for 2025. And if it was between him and Green Goblin, I'm picking Doc Ock. I like Doc Ock more as both a character and as a figure. The arms are awesome. The head sculpt is fantastic. Looks just like Alfred Molina. This is just an awesome figure from an awesome movie. And you know, it's just the Doc Ock I've always wanted. And this is really, really cool, especially for somebody who doesn't do MCU figures anymore. This is just a great addition to my Spider-Man shelf. And number 9 might be a controversial take, but I'm going to give it to the Marvel Legends Deluxe Angel. Warrington III is not one of my favorite characters. Angel is not one of my favorite X-Men, and I am always the argumentative type that wings are an impractical superhero power to have. But this figure is fun as hell. The sculpt on the wings is absolutely beautiful. With all the coverts, the primaries, the secondaries, they all look fantastic, and they're articulated beautifully on a pretty good base body. I think the only problem that I really have with this figure is the paint on the top of the gloves and boots. I hate that. But that aside, this is a really fun figure, and that's the main reason I put it on this list. Fun factor is definitely something that I take into consideration when ranking my figures, and while the figures below this guy may be argued better, I didn't have as much fun with them as I did with this Angel. Posing them around and putting them in these flying poses It's just a lot of fun. He's like almost the perfect angel. The only thing I would have liked is if they made these gloves and boots like overlay pieces and new sculpt. But other than that, this is my ideal version of Angel, my ideal look of him. It just looks great. And again, that's coming from somebody who's not a huge fan of the character, but just had a lot of fun with this action figure. And at number 8, I had to put the big old O on here because I'm not trying to get cursed. We have the Unparalleled Universe Toys Odious figure. Now, this has been a long time in the making, and I'm just happy that it's finally here. It's what he wanted it to be. It's what I wanted it to be. And he's just an awesome figure. Aside from being a big fan of Unparalleled Universe and his whole channel, and him being a big inspiration for my channel, this figure is just fun as hell. With the clothes on, with the clothes off, he is so fun to pose around, and he looks great doing it. For the price point that I got this for, you cannot go wrong. Again, congratulations to Unparalleled Universe for making this happen. This was months ago, but who cares? Big O definitely had to make the list because I'm not trying to get cursed. This thing is awesome and will always be one of my favorite figures. Now, my number 7 spot is one that I think a lot of people are going to be sleeping on and not talking about. But I have the NECA Toys Ultimate Jigsaw figure. This is awesome. Who doesn't want Kramer in this? Dude, this look is so iconic, and I'm a big fan of the franchise, a really big fan of the franchise. And this look is iconic. NECA did it beautifully with the wired cloak, all the accessories that he comes with. He freaking comes with Billy on the bike that wheels around, and Billy himself is articulated. This thing is awesome, and I don't care what anybody says. The articulation is what it needs to be. He looks beautiful doing it. And this is a figure that I can't believe it took NECA this long to make it, but I'm so happy that they did. I love Saw. I love this figure. Good old Tobin had to make the list. This is such a fun figure for your horror collection. Sticking with that horror-esque theme, it would be criminal of me to not include my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters of all time, in the Mythic Legion's Four Horsemen Figura Obscura Frankenstein's monster. This thing is insane. I've always wanted a book-accurate Frankenstein, and the Figura Obscura line is a perfect outlet to make that figure, and they did it beautifully. The paint and sculpt is absolutely ridiculous on this thing, and the amount of stuff that came in the box for the $75 price point is ridiculous. And on top of all that, I had the magic of buying this at Legions Con this year. My first Legions Con, but definitely not my last. I had a great time at Legions Con. It was awesome. Got to meet some great people, get some great figures. I'm not upset about it at all. This is a great action figure and one of my favorite in my collection, period. I think there's things that are objectively, no, I just think it's really good. There's just things that I like a little bit more personally, but this is an amazing figure. And it's a little dangerous because it's probably going to opt me to buy more Mythic Legions, which I already have since then. So yeah, this thing's awesome. Can't complain at all. We're in the thick of it now. The top 5 with Storm Collectibles, Baki Hanma series, Yujiro Hanma. Oh my god, the Ogre is one of my favorite anime characters of all time. I still to this day cannot believe that this figure is sitting in front of me. And it's perfect. I have no complaints whatsoever with this action figure. The pants are amazing. I love that they can come off and you can see all the great sculpt underneath. The demon back is sculpted amazingly. His head sculpts are perfect. He's one of the funniest, like unironically funniest characters in all of fiction. And to get him in an action figure like this is just amazing. He comes with everything he needs. I love it. I'm a big Baki fan. Like, really big Baki fan. It's like a top 5 anime for me, and Yujiro is easily my favorite character in that show just because of how ridiculous in nature he is. So, and he's just fun to play around with. Storm kills it. I cannot wait to see what other characters they make. I would love Biscuit Oliver. I know Doppo Hirochi is on the way, and I'm so here for it. So yeah, this line's awesome. This figure's awesome, but he's going to be hard to beat for me. Coming in at number 4, we have the NECA Toys Nosferatu, Count Orlok. Oh my god. I don't know about y'all, but that Robert Eggers movie, I'm going on Christmas night with my best buddies. I'm so excited. I'm an enormous Nosferatu fan. I absolutely love the franchise. I love the character. I love the movie. And I've always wanted a Nosferatu in my collection. And I'm so happy that NECA is the one that made it and delivered. He's beautiful. The paint is beautiful. The sculpt is beautiful. The articulation is what it needs to be. He comes with a ton of accessories. I love Nosferatu. And Count Orlok never looks better. Fuck Super 7. I don't even know who else made it. I know Super 7 made one, but fuck them. This is so much better. For your price, you can't go wrong with this thing. This is an amazing representation of the figure and of the character. Number 3, I'm cheating here a little bit. I got 2 figures, but I couldn't pick between the 2 of them. We have the Jack specific Mario Sonic 3's movies, Sonic and Shadow. $15 for these, guys. $15. Look at the paint, the sculpt, and the articulation on these things. They don't come with any accessories, granted, but for $15, these are unbeatable. They're unbeatable. They are amazing. They are so fun to play around with. They pose great. They look fantastic. I'm a huge Sonic fan. I love these movies. They're so dumb and stupid, but they're so much fun. I'm so excited to see Shadow. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the whole franchise. But you can interchange these with Knuckles or Tails. I just think these 2 are the best ones, especially if I had to pick between the 2 of these. I think Shadow is the better of the 2, but not by much. It's just Shadow has a little bit more detail. But holy crap, these figures are amazing. I never, ever will need another Sonic in my collection, and I say that with confidence. I hope that this line continues, and if they introduce more characters, we get more down the road. But damn, these are awesome figures. Really, really happy with how they turned out. At number 2, we have Darkseid by McFarlane Toys. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset by this take, but I don't really care. This thing is amazing. The only problem I have with it was that I had to mod it a little bit, so I am cheating a little bit here, that I had to cut off that little peg to get rid of the cape. But once I did that, it's a damn near perfect Darkseid. People are complaining about the articulation. I get it. It's not great. But I don't care. Darkseid's articulation doesn't need to be great. Darkseid is. Okay? He is. Maybe one of the hardest lines in all of fiction ever. And for that reason, I love it. I'm a big, big Darkseid fan. I take Darkseid over Thanos any day. He's the OG. He's the GOAT. He made big villains, and I just love the sculpt on this thing. I love the look. This is the Darkseid I've always wanted for my collection. I love it. It poses enough for me. It looks great doing it, and he will be the centerpiece of my DC collection moving forward because I just love it that much. Again, I know I'm going to upset a lot of people putting this higher than some of these figures, but I don't care. It's my list. This thing is awesome. Huge Darkseid fan and huge fan of this figure. And at my number 1, this should be a surprise to no one. We have the Mezco Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-pack. And to think that I was going to skip on this, I was not going to get it. I skipped the pre-order. It sold out everywhere. I saw reviews, and I was kicking myself in the ass. I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. They are my top 3 franchise for me. It's like Marvel, DC, Turtles. I love TMNT. I've read so many books, so many movies, so many shows. I'm a huge Turtles fan. And this is like my favorite look for them. I love this like realistic take on them with the amount of stuff that came in this box, the paint detail, the sculpt, the articulation. They are the definition of action figure perfection. I love them. I have no problems with them whatsoever. And they do hold the record for being the most expensive thing I have ever bought. Like, other than like my car, but like, yeah, I paid big money for these, and you know what? I don't regret it at all. My wife was like, they better be in your top 10 for how much you paid for them. And honey, I'm happy to say they're still my number 1. And they're honestly maybe number 1 in my entire collection. They make me so happy. They look fantastic. love TMNT. These figures are fantastic. So I'd be an idiot to not put them at number 1. They are fantastic. So there it is. The Zach Toys 2024 top 15 figures of the year. Now, I know there's more than 15 here, but it was such a good year for action figures. I mean, we are really, really living in the golden age of 6 to 7 inch collecting. And these figures are all really good examples of that. I had so much fun collecting this year. I don't plan on really stopping, maybe slowing down a little bit in the next coming year. I got some big stuff I need to do. But I mean, it's hard to do that when you have such good stuff. Now, there's so much good stuff that you can kind of see the edge of my review station here, but it is what it is. We do what we got to do. But this, on any day, these things could have been switched. Some of them are going to stay where they're going to stay, but ultimately, this is my list of the year, and these are the figures that I had the most fun with for one reason or another. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. I post a lot on all those apps, and I have a great time, so I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know. Who did you cop last year? Leave your top 10, 15, 20, 50. I don't care. Leave your favorite figures of 2024 down in the comments below. I would love to hear it. So other than that, I'll see you guys in the next year. Peace. What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.